Welcome to the Boston Barrister, Kevin Patrick Sieber, bringing you insights about your family and the world.
Welcome to the Boston Barrister. My name is Kevin Patrick Sieber. I am located in Boston, Massachusetts. This week's episode is about Minneapolis, Minnesota, an ICE event. ICE stands for Immigration and Customs Enforcement. On January 7, 2026, not a very good Happy New Year, Renee Nicole Good, age 37 years old, when she was shot by a ICE agent. She was struck in the head, transported to the hospital where she died. They had 3 children, ages 15, 12, and a 6-year-old. She had just dropped off at school prior to the incident. Federal authorities have stated that the agent fired because feared for his safety, claiming that the vehicle that Renee was driving was weaponized. Local authorities and witnesses dispute this characterization by the federal government as to what did or did not happen. The FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, have taken the lead on investigating this situation. This has limited state access in Minnesota to evidence. This is causing tension with the state authorities in Minnesota and the federal government. It's reported that there are thousands of ICE agents in the Minnesota state. They are arresting and deporting individuals due to immigration violations. January 19th of 2026, there was another incident. ICE agents entered into a St. Paul home without a search warrant. They detained the home owner. The owner's name was Chung-Li Tao. The homeowner was in briefs and Crocs in sub-zero temperatures. Then they later found out he was, a U.S. citizen, and they released him. Officials in Minnesota said it was excessive use of force and wrongful detention. There has been some serious political and public reaction to all of this, resulting in protesters and hostile feelings, attitudes, and actions towards the federal ICE agents. The question this week on the Boston Barrister is, parents and adults have the right to protest. It's been in our DNA since a fight with the Revolutionary War with the King of England, who was doing all types of things he wasn't supposed to, and our patriots, as they were called, pushed back and fought back, resulting in the shot that was heard around the world at Lexington, Concord, which started the beginning of the American Revolutionary War. In America, we won the war, therefore we got the right to history. But make no mistake about it, that if England had won the American Revolutionary War, the first people to be hung would have been all those that were on the Declaration of Independence, and especially John Hancock, who wrote his signature on the Declaration of Independence so large that King George could read it without putting his reading glasses on. The right to protest and demonstrate against our government is as old as this country's United States Constitution. The right should be zealously upheld, implemented, and executed. The question now becomes, however, when parents protest and demonstrate, and they do it with their children, are they not being negligent by endangering possibly their children and putting their children in harm's way? And you say Child Protective Services for going to a protest or a demonstration with, as stories have, national reporting on ICE protests and demonstrations following the Renee Nicole Good fatal shooting, has stated there were mothers with children carrying them in carriers among the demonstrators. The unfortunate and untimely death of Renee Nicole Good in Minneapolis, Minnesota demonstrates that the situation has become very volatile and dangerous. Now the question becomes, it begs the question, what are mothers doing with their children, and some with their babies and baby carriers, out demonstrating and protesting against the ICE agents? And this now begs the question, should the children be left at home and the mothers protest without their children, therefore keeping them safe, not in harm's way? On the other hand, forget the mothers with the children. Where does ICE fall into this? Our federal government shooting American citizens on American land. What's with that? What are we doing, folks? This is crazy. Here's the problem. Whether you're for or against the ICE agents, they're doing their job, right? But, however, when does that cross the line of excessive force? When does it cross the line that people have the right to demonstrate and to protest our government? I get it. If you hear it illegal, get it, okay? You're out of here. You're deported. They're going to send you elsewhere. However, at what cost to our citizens and to our freedoms and our liberties and to our country? I hate to say this, but if you're Child Protective Services, what are mothers doing at a protest demonstrating with their children? And are these children in harm's way and not safe? If so, is that neglect? Remember, one of the greatest documents ever written is the U.S. Constitution, which reads, "We the people."